Hello, my name is Teresa McLaurin, and today I will be discussing jail or treatment. Should drug addicts go to jail or receive treatment when they are arrested? This topic is very near and dear to me. I have a brother who is a drug addict and has been a drug addict for over 40 years and has been in and out of the prison system more times than I care to count. I've always wondered why he didn't get any help while he was in jail, because I thought that there were drug treatment programs in jail, and he said, one, he didn't want it, and two, he told me that the drugs that are in prison are just as easy to access as it is out here on the streets. So that always had me wondering and trying to figure out, well, there has to be other options for those who are arrested on non-violent drug offenses. So today I will be discussing how those same drug addicts who are arrested has added to the problem of overpopulation in our prison, how non-violent drug offenders should be sent to treatment instead of jail, and lastly, how by sending these addicts to treatment is the best solution to help the addicts and the community. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, at the end of 2014, the U.S. alone held over 1.5 million inmates in our state and federal correctional facilities. That is a lot of people. Of that, almost 16%, that's 208 approximately thousand, of those inmates were convicted of drug offenses. Of that 16%, 3.6% were convicted of drug possession, and the other 12% were convicted of drug trafficking or other drug charges. Housing an inmate costs anywhere from $31,000 to $60,000 per year per inmate, depending on where, what state, private, non-private facility. Also, it costs the U.S. taxpayers over $48 to $93 billion a year to house those inmates. That amount is just crazy. So, to help defray that cost, who should benefit from this type of sentencing? And basically, like I said, non-violent drug offenders. Non-violent drug offenders are those who are arrested for simple possession. Simple possession just basically means that you were, at the time of your arrest, you had a very small amount of this illegal substance in your possession that you had control of. And because that substance is illegal, you are now arrested and now have a criminal background. Also, that substance can be anywhere from what they call Schedule 1. That's marijuana, that's cocaine, that's meth, that's other narcotics, oxycodone, oxycontin, and such, because they know those drugs are very addictive. They know that eventually, you may not be doing it now, but eventually in the long run you may be committing other crimes in order to get the money, to get the drug. So it's a wide range of reasons why they arrest you for just that simple possession or personal use. The sentences can range anywhere from non-criminal violations to felony charges and fines, depending on the state that you live in, where you got arrested and how much of that illegal substance you had on your person when you were arrested. So to me, the type of sentencing that those people who are arrested for simple possession should get. Sentences should be combined with judicial monitoring and treatment. Basically, that means the person that's arrested will be mandated involuntary inpatient treatment, ordered by the court mandated for substance abuse. And basically, just like as if you go to prison, that mandate, that involuntary inpatient, means that you lose your freedom, you lose your liberty, just like you would when you are sent to prison. But in that involuntary inpatient treatment program, you are getting help, the help that you need in order to be on the road to recovery so that this won't happen again. Once your inpatient treatment has been completed, you will then go to an outpatient treatment program, there may be a halfway house. It may be you just going to your weekly appointments with your drug counselor or substance abuse counselor, and that also should be instituted and mandated by your by the courts as part of your parole and probation. That should be monitored by parole and probation. They should be able to check in with the doctor or the halfway house or the residential housing to see that yes, you are participating in this program. Yes, you are coming to your meetings and following the steps needed to help you on your road to recovery. Also, your parole or probation officer is also able to physically look at you and tell, like, oh, something's not quite right. You may need to go back inpatient because you might have relapsed. And it happens because that happens with drug addicts. They relapse based on a whole host of reasons, stress, or whatever. The cost of treatment versus the cost of addiction. To me personally, the cost of addiction is higher than the cost of treatment. Yes, by no means is cost of treatment cheap. The cost of treatment can range anywhere from $7,500 to over $120,000 per month per client. And that's based on the length of time, the type of treatment, the location of the program. Yes, that is very high, but the cost of addiction alone is higher, in my opinion, due to loss of employment for that person, loss of family for that person, so therefore there's no support. There could be more criminal charges because he or she may progress into getting getting more criminal charges because now you're trying to get money for that drug, or you're trying to get that drug. So you may up your game on your criminal path of stealing, robbing, sticking people up to get that drug. The increase of medical bills due to the use of drugs. You're going into the ER because now your body's breaking down, your organs are breaking down, and you're going to the ER or to these urgent care facilities, and you're racking up these charges. And you have no means of paying. You have no way to pay these charges that you're incurring. Therefore, it falls back onto other people like myself who are paying for insurance. And because of that, our insurance things are going up because the hospitals are now charging the insurance companies more because they have to pay for all these treatments and stuff that the drug addicts have been coming in and out of their facility for treatment. And also the cost of the drug addict's family being on public assistance because that man or that woman is not able to take care of their families like they should by having a job, paying for rent, food, or what have you. So the benefits to this type of program, because the inmate will be in a structured program, you have detoxification, therapeutic intervention, life skills development, helping you cope, giving you various coping mechanisms and coping skills. And they also have a relapse prevention program where when you do relapse, there is a place for you to go, steps for you to follow when you do relapse that you can come and get help for. When the person is going through treatment, the benefits are tremendous. There's an feeling of acceptance or attitude of acceptance, which then you have feeling of dignity. You have feeling of self-worth. The addict will see their success and it will increase their self-esteem when you see yourself progressing and you're on the right road, you're on the right path, and everybody's congratulating you. Your self-esteem does go through the roof. The addict will then have a chance to reconnect with their family, that support that they lost while they were on drugs, or while they were addicts. And lastly, they'll be able to gain employment and become an upstanding citizen. So in conclusion, Sending nonviolent drug offenders to jail is not the only option that we have. Sending them to treatment to deal with their underlying issue will be beneficial to the offender in our community, because remember, drug addiction is not just a physical need, it's a mental disease as well. It's more mental than it is physical. And lastly, treating the addiction is the only way we can help those who really need it. It decreases the number of inmates in our prison system, which decreases the overpopulation, which will decrease the cost to the taxpayers. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my discussion on jail or treatment. Thank you.